Okay, let's go ahead and get this stream started. And I kind of want to make three things clear before we start talking about this, because if you see the title of this and you see my Twitter, I'm basically saying that I think I know what the possible outcome for this movie is going to be. I have no actual idea, and what's worse, this is going to be the first thing that I this is gonna be one of the three things I want to talk about before we actually talk about this. But one of the first things is apparently somebody ended up stealing the entire movie, and they're selling it for $150 online.
Now, is it a complete movie or?
I have no idea. I do not care to try and purchase and find out.
I'd like to think that he's just fucking around and just used the movie clips and then used AI generation to make a movie out of it. And then it was just like, oh yeah, this is a movie. You coughed out $150, you fucking idiot.
I mean, I think I heard from another YouTuber the
Somebody's gonna cough up 150 just to see this shit. It's like, is this fake or is this real? And if did I get the thing I wanted?
I can only imagine somebody's already paid $150 to try and see the movie before everybody else. But what I heard from another YouTuber is that apparently they did leak parts of the movie that we haven't already seen yet.
Okay.
I still have yet to go and look for it, because again, I don't want to try and ruin myself on it.
Yeah, I get you.
But it's also kind of sucky, because I'm a firm believer of giving respect where like hard work is done and everything. And the people who made the third movie, Jesus Christ, they deserve so much respect, because they were working on this movie during the time of the actors' strike.
Oh, yeah.
Because they were out there, they were filming locations and everything while people were out.
That's right. That's what it was. I remember I heard about it. Like not everybody in the Writers Guild was like all of Hollywood. There were certain parts of it where technically they're still working on films. It's just like they can't get the ones that they want at the same time. So in order to save time and some amount of money at the same time, was just like have the people that could do stuff do whatever they could do, and then later they'll just like edit it together somehow.
Yeah, so while all of that was going on last year, apparently the Sonic team crew, they were out there actually putting together the movie and all that kind of stuff with the large statues to try and figure out where the character's going to be, what's going to be going on. So they did all of that while there was a strike going on. And then once it got back to moving, they were perfectly fine. They were still back on schedule. So, honestly, they deserve some respect. Of course, I'm going to go see them in theater. Of course, I'm going to probably buy it once it comes out on like Amazon or something. The second thing I want to talk about is, again, this is kind of my own thoughts on how the movie is going to be. I have a very strong, like, 80% feeling that I'm getting a lot of it right. But I could be wrong, of course. I could be very wrong, and a lot of this stuff isn't going to turn out how I want it to be. At the very least, though, like, I'd be happy if I was right about some of this stuff. You know what I mean? Like,
you have not said anything about it.
Well, no, I'm not going to say anything about it yet, because I want to kind of get this stuff out of the way. But you know what I mean, right? Like, if I even say one thing that turns out to be true, or like if a scene goes in a way that I expect it to be, I can at least be happy about that. And the third thing, I'll say the third thing is more or less like stupid, simple. But the third thing is something that I don't expect to happen. I want it to kind of happen, but kind of not.
McDonald's tie-in, yes.
I mean, they're probably going to do some kind of tie-in, if anything. I wouldn't doubt it. But it's also the fact that I think I know how they would bring in Amy, because of the way that they're doing a lot of Sonic characters and everything. I have a strong feeling I know a possible way they can bring her in, with still having the movie flow the way of the like video games and such. Let me say it like this, because it's gonna kind of clue in some people to how my thought process is gonna go, but It won't be said just yet. So you said, so Akira, you said before that you don't know much about the Sonic fandom, right? Like you don't know much about like what's going on with them.
Not really. I'm a bit like out of loop. It's more like, oh hey, it's Sonic. Oh hey, it's Shadow. Okay, they're fighting. Okay, stuff like that. And then there's like Silver, and then there's Eggman, and there's a different Eggman apparently, which confused me a bit. Like what's going on?
Yeah.
Time travel is usually the case for them, but there's also the alternate universe kind of thing that could be happening.
Well, one of the other things about it is the fact that we have two different Eggmans. But when you say two different Eggmans, I'm thinking with this movie you're talking about Gerald Robotnik, who is actually Dr. Robotnik's grandfather.
Mm.
That's why he calls him Pop Up, which I
I
didn't
do
know.
remember. I do remember that part in the trailer, but
Which I don't. I never knew that was an actual like wording for like grandfather, because I
what?
never heard people say Pop Up when they were talking to their grandfather.
It's pretty rare, but it's probably just not here in the South. Though I feel like it would have been. The more I think about
I mean, it's
it.
weird.
Probably somewhere in the North.
It's weird because I'm pretty sure like in the north people call the baskets like carts and everything, whereas some people in the south call them like carts or baskets.
Mm-hmm.
So it could be the other way around. That we're using like more northern terms.
That, or
Because
it's
of our-
more rural instead of urban.
Possibly. Anyway, so what I was gonna say is that a long time ago, the fandom kind of brought back Maria
Mm-hmm.
as a hedgehog. I never looked too far into it, but yeah, the fandom kind of saw an opportunity to bring back Maria as a hedgehog for Sonic fandom base. So my theory on how they're gonna bring in Amy kind of ties into something like that. But okay, so with all that out of the way, let me talk about how this is gonna go. So I am very excited about this. If somebody can't tell. So the way I think it's gonna happen is it's possibly gonna happen maybe a few months or so. It's gonna probably start a few months or so after the events of Sonic 2, where the general is going to see Sonic and his team and gonna talk to them about the whole entire Project Shadow. And the one thing about it is I think the general is going to interrupt a birthday party because hold up, let me show y'all IMDb page. So in this movie, we're gonna have Shermer, Shemer. We're gonna have this guy who was playing Randall, who was supposed to kind of like be the agent who tricks Rachel into marrying, so that way they can get close to Sonic. And then I do not see the person who's supposed to play the daughter, the kid. But either way, so yeah, Rachel is supposed to have a daughter named JoJo, and I think it's supposed to be like her birthday or something. Because let's get to the scene.
Security breach.
Damn, it was only for a second. Because as you can see, like he's kind of in an area where it looks like a kid's birthday party, where people are dressed up. And not only that, but we do have some confirmation because, like the extras, the other cast, they're like party guests. There are some customer or passerby. The passerby could be anywhere, but I still think it'll be during the scene where they're at the Chow Garden, Chuck E. Cheese, basically. I should really get a thing for this, so I can switch between the two easily. Where are... God, I can't find the scene right now. Trying to find the Chow Garden thing. Now let's try and play it. Just see.
When has that ever stopped?
It might have been before this.
I can't believe.
Oh. And also, right here, some people have been thinking that that might be Amy instead of Knuckles. I do not understand that. There's a YouTuber out there who has this as a point of saying that that's Amy, but like the scene is extremely saturated to where even Sonic looks like a very vibrant blue. So, it's crazy.
Saying this, but we need you know who.
This is a bad idea.
When has that ever stopped?
That one failed.
Shut. We're done. That boy. Are you? There won't be anything left.
Don't you close.
And so yeah, I think that there's gonna be like a birthday party and everything going on there. So, the general comes to see Sonic and his team while JoJo's party is going on. Rachel is gonna be pissed, and they're gonna try to reason like, I just need to talk to Sonic and his team for a moment. We can go outside if anything. They somehow find a seat somewhere else and just talk. And yeah, as we can see, these are rockets coming in. Which would beg the question, if Shadow was the one who is the main villain in all this, why would he need rockets? And my theory on that is they kind of see this, and a lot of them believe it has to do something with Eggman, because he was never found in the wreckage from last time. And that's... yes, I know there's a lot of backtracking in this. Fuck, where's my thought process going? Anyways, so they're probably gonna think this is Eggman's doing. Oh wait, that's the hospital. Or what I believe to be the hospital.
I can't believe I'm saying it.
So this, I think they're actually standing in front of a hospital, because it's kind of nearing the beginning. Like maybe because there were rockets literally inside of a small building where kids would have their birthday parties. Maybe some people got hurt. And the general is one of them, which is why we don't see him in any other clips so far. Because you gotta figure, if the general was alright, he'd probably be with Team Sonic throughout some part of it. But no. So I think if anything, Sonic and his team, they're gonna think, oh, this has to be Robotnik's doing, so we should go and find him. They find Stone. They follow him to where Eggman is. And while outside, he basically says, Sonic, Eggman needs your help. And that kind of leads
We need you know.
into this. Where the giant, I can only imagine it's supposed to be like a giant fortress that's coming out of the water. So yeah, Dr. Stone says, Sonic, Eggman needs your help. And kind of leads him into this. And that's when we find Fat Eggman, who's just there. Now here's where it gets a little complicated. So when we see Eggman being fat and everything, and Knuckles says that he let himself go and all that, I think from that point on, we hear from Eggman talking about what's going on. And how Eggman originally went to go see this base. Because we know at the end of Sonic 2, I guess she was a commander. The commander was talking to a sergeant about Project Shadow, and how there was a small part of the base that was it still had something to do with Eggman. They don't, well, not Eggman, but how they're scrubbing information from Robotnik, and that's when they found Project Shadow. Because they only said Robotnik, and because a lot of people who play the games and everything know that Gerald Robotnik is the person who made Shadow, we more or less knew that there was some kind of connection between Gerald and the third movie as well. What we didn't know, Gerald Robotnik is technically alive. Because in the second game, Gerald Robotnik has been dead for years. Because the way Sonic Adventure 2 is that Gerald Robotnik dies from basically gunfire. Because he made something that they thought was going to be extremely hazardous. Otherwise speaking, he made Shadow. So the military decided, you know what? Let's go ahead and kill this man, because we are terrified of the thing he created. So that was the whole thing about Gerald in Sonic Adventure 2. He was killed because he made Shadow. But in this one, no, he's alive in the saggy flesh. So, I think what it is that Stone, because we saw him, like, technically infiltrate Gunn at the end of the second movie, we technically know that he finds a way into Gerald Robotnik's laboratory. And that's more or less what we see nearing the end with, let me go back.
Welcome home, my boy.
Dude. Just 1 second more. Just 1 second left.
My boy.
Because I think this is technically supposed to be like a thinner Robotnik. Not like how we see like when Team Sonic meets him.
Yeah.
So I think Stone tells him about this lab. So Eggman goes there to find out what's going on. That's when he not only finds older versions of his work, but then he finds his grandfather. So while in between part of the second movie and the third movie are going on, Eggman and Gerald Robotnik are kind of teaming up and trying to do these things. And then Shadow breaks out while they're talking to Eggman. And yeah, Eggman basically tells them, like, I'm not the biggest threat here. That would be my grandfather and his Project Shadow, which is now out and about and loose. I think during some part of this, after hearing about Shadow and everything and how him and Sonic are connected, this is just kind of loosely parts of my thoughts, but I think during some part, before trying to go and find Shadow, Sonic talks to Tom, and that's when the whole inspiration at the beginning of the trailer starts, where it's like, you never lost who you were in your heart. Because, like it says, whereas Sonic found friends and everything, Shadow only found, like, death and disaster. So, Gerald and Eggman are working together for a bit before the third movie comes to a start. Gerald betrays his grandson because, I mean, why wouldn't he? He's supposed to be an evil genius just as much as Eggman. So, of course, he would think, oh, okay, I'll just go ahead and use him for a little bit. And so, that all happens. They somehow get Shadow released. And here and there, I haven't put together the timeline of Sonic and Shadow fighting. But at the very least, I have put something together that might be nearing the end. And I wonder if I can find that clip. Oh. Should be right around here.
Shadow's story began a lot like your Sonic, but where you found family and friends, Shadow found only.
So technically, we see Shadow standing in front of this crack twice, as far as I can tell. This is once, and then the second time is nearing the big bang that happens nearing the end. Or wherever that might be. Oh, there we go. Yeah, right there. So it makes sense that he goes from looking at that and having some kind of realization to doing this, to actually fighting for some purpose. So, yeah, I think this shot right here and the one that I just showed, I am not going to go back to because I don't want to lose track of where I was in all this. I think these two shots are kind of showing nearing the end of the movie, where Shadow has some kind of relapse moment and goes off to think, this isn't what Maria wanted. She wanted kindness, she wanted peace, she wanted all this different stuff. So why am I doing this? So then he betrays Gerald Robotnik. And what it is it's actually very clever because I'm seeing this, and then right after he throws a punch, we see this black hole. So a lot of people are thinking maybe Shadow did something to kind of make a chaos controlled wormhole or something, and then maybe he's trying to destroy everybody like that. But the funny thing is that another YouTuber got a message that says that technically in theaters they're showing a bit of extended part of this. Yeah, apparently in theaters they're showing previews of the movie, but there's a little bit of an extension on this part between Shadow throwing a punch and this wormhole opening. Between the two, there's supposed to be like a small little vortex or something. So what I think is it's not really Shadow's doing this. I think, crazy enough, I think this is all happening because of Black Doom.
Who?
Yeah, I figured you would say that. So Black Doom is one of the reasons why Shadow was created. Because Gerald Robotnik was trying to make the ultimate life forms. But in doing so, the best he could do was a giant lizard monster that was part of the arc. But as if they're going based off of Shadow the Hedgehog, the video game that came out in 2002, I think, technically, Shadow was made using a part of an alien overlord named Black Doom, which is going to be coming back in the Sonic X Shadow generations. And one of the things about it, behind the lore of all this, is that Shadow was made not only using Black Doom, but also using a bit of Maria as well. Because apparently using Black Doom would have meant that Shadow was going to become too corrupt, too evil and everything, and too unstable. So that's why they used a bit of Maria's soul to try and balance out Shadow. To try and try and make him more compassionate and everything. So, yeah, I think they're going to be bringing in Black Doom for all of this. And that's going to kind of work out in some sense, but not really. And that maybe this is more nearing the end. Maybe the whole entire black hole thing is closer to the end. Maybe Shadow makes a sacrifice. Because in the Sonic Adventure 2 game, Gerald's plan is to make the space colony arc. He wanted it to fall from space into Earth to where it sets off a huge explosion and basically kills off the entire world because of what they did to Maria, which you don't know, so I'll go into. They kill Maria. Some people of Gun, apparently it was around for a long time, but Gun comes in, they try to stop Gerald, and they end up killing Maria in the process. And I think the reason Gerald is alive is because they kind of just took him in, but he ended up still working on things, which is one of the reasons why Shadow has a motorcycle. So, I think Black Doom is going to come into this, and it's going to be more or less towards the end, and then maybe Sonic 4, maybe there would be a bit of a distorted future and everything. That's where we see like Silver and Blaze and all that. But there's a possibility that Sonic 4 is going to kind of like be a part 2 of Sonic 3.
So what you're saying is that Sonic 3 is not going to end at Sonic 3. It's gonna be like into the Spider-Verse, beyond the Spider-Verse kind of thing.
There is a chance of that.
Just gonna cut us off with cliffhanger. Okay. I didn't even think about it, but yeah, I could see that. Movie theaters being assholes. They're just like, oh yeah, there's one more part that will show 2 years from
I don't think they were gonna technically call it like part 2 or anything.
now. Yeah, no.
I think it's gonna be ending like Sonic will continue his journey or continue his adventure in Sonic 4. And then probably get a little bit of a teaser on what's gonna happen, so that way people can get hyped for the 2026 movie. But yeah, so I think if they bring in Black Doom, it's gonna come out to maybe a 4th movie coming out. Maybe that's gonna be the whole thing with the 4th movie. That Black Doom comes in and they have to stop him and everything. And I think that's gonna be the general premise for the Sonic 3 movie. Did we go through all of this? Did Robotnik help Gerald to kind of start all of this for Sonic 3? Shadow is kind of on board with the revenge up until something happens, which I will talk about here in a moment, because it's one of the things that's kind of stupid that I don't believe is going to happen, but would be kind of amazing if it did in some way. But because of this thing, Shadow looks at his reflection and remembers his time with Maria, and then thinks, I can't just go off and destroy these people. Here, let me go ahead and try to help save them. And then all that happens. And God, I can almost hear the amount of people that would hate this video if they were watching.
Okay, why?
Because my theory on how Amy is actually in Sonic 3 is that Gerald Robotnik was so stricken with grief about what happened to Maria. But he had the technology to technically put her soul somewhere. He made Amy.
Okay, then why does Amy love Sonic?
My theory to that is maybe Maria liked the color blue, and because she spent so much time, spent so much time with Shadow, she knows that he's a sentient hedgehog kind of creature. So putting the two together, blue and hedgehog, yeah. I can double check.
Sonic just cucks Shadow. Okay.
I mean, I can double check right now to see what it was, because I meant to do that last night, but I kind of got sidetracked by other things.
Alright, so basically, the Maria that becomes Amy just falls in love with Sonic because he's blue and a hedgehog at the exact same time. Sonic just ends up NTRing Shadow. Okay.
You know what's sad? The very second search is, what is Maria Robotnik's favorite color?
Oh.
The first search is, what is her favorite food?
Chili hot dogs, I don't know.
It is blue. It says Maria's bedroom was blue, which suited her because of her eyes and the blue dress she wore. So
that's a lot of blue. Alright.
So yes, I think because Amy has some kind of deep connection to both the color blue, and because she knows of a sentient hedgehog, she somehow thinks that means that she's always loved Sonic, that she knew about him and everything. She doesn't quite know why, but she just loves him. Which, yeah.
Okay, so it's Maria's soul, but I'm assuming none of her memories.
More than likely not. That's all I'm saying. There's possibly a residual idea of the idea of blue and the hedgehog. She doesn't have the full memory. Otherwise, she would remember her Shadow, she would remember her grandfather, and all this other stuff. But if, like, Gerald is trying to do this long after she died, after the space colony Ark ended up crashing into the Earth the first time, I'll get to that in a bit. But if all this happened, she died, and Gerald Robotnik is thinking, let me try to see if I can put her soul into another hedgehog. This time to actually make her. I think it's going to be the fact that maybe too much of her went into doing Shadow and was dead to fully make her Maria.
Okay.
So, Yeah.
Oh, of course.
I didn't see my phone go off for a moment.
Let's see. Won't be out till 2. Yeah, that's fine. Yes.
I mean, I'm pretty sure I messaged yesterday that we would be on North Star, didn't I?
Yeah. You just go to North Star restaurant there. Yes.
You want to walk around the mall? No, I just suggested North Star for no reason.
It's fine. As long as he's free.
Yeah. I'm sure he'll get a kick out of this whole entire Maria being Amy thing. Or Amy being Maria. And so, yes. I think trying to put her soul into another hedgehog is going to be a little too much. So she won't have all of her memories. She'll just kind of be there.
Okay.
And that's going to be the catalyst for why Shadow goes back to being good. Because in the Sonic Adventure 2 game, it was Amy who went to talk to Shadow to try and get her to remember what Maria's actual promise to him was.
Okay.
And that's what got Shadow to go like, okay, yeah, I'll keep my promise to Maria and to you as well. So, it seems like a huge cop field, but...
That or he's just got a soft spot for girls.
I mean, I want to say yes, but also no. Because he really doesn't like Rouge from the moment he saw her. And as far as I know, he more than likely doesn't care for a lot of the humans. It was only the fact that he spent so much time with Maria and the fact that Amy made him remember so much about her. So yeah, Amy's gonna be Maria, and the Shadow's gonna get cucked.
Yeah.
B.
Now, here's the thing that I want to know.
Go ahead.
Where the fuck do you find a hedgehog?
Well, I mean, first of all, he did create Shadow. So
yeah, he could do that, yeah.
Because here's the thing about it too. Originally, Black Doom, with making a part of Black Doom into an ultimate life form, it was a little too much. So I think that's the reason why he used Part Maria. And he used the Chaos Emeralds in order to actually create a stable fusion.
Okay.
But if he's using just Maria, he doesn't have to use too much energy. So all he would need is just a simple Chaos Emerald, and then he can create her.
Alright.
And I don't know if you remember me saying this back then, but after we watched the second Sonic movie, I was basically saying like, hey, have you ever noticed how only Sonic and Knuckles' eyes kind of glow a color, and how only Shadow's eyes glow a color, but yet not Tails doesn't have his glowing eyes, and Robotnik has glowing eyes only when he's fused with the Master Emerald. So yeah, I think technically Gerald ended up creating Amy, and that's probably going to be one of the reasons why she has pink electrifying eyes, like how we see Sonic have blue electric eyes because he was born using the power of blue Chaos Emerald. Knuckles was somehow near the red emerald, which would make sense because his tribe was originally the guardians of the emeralds. And then Shadow, of course, we knew that he was created using Black Doom, Maria, and the power of an emerald. So that would give it. I never thought of how Amy could somehow have the power of an emerald to her. But if we take this into consideration, I think it would be feasible. I think technically Amy would be like a new creation for the Sonic 3 movie. And now that the emeralds are literally in pieces, technically it would be feasible for him to only need one in order to actually make Maria. I see you smiling. What's your thought?
Oh, because I just thought of this. If she's a new creation.
She is not 1 year old. I know where you're going.
Yeah, baby. So I was going to get a pet him.
First of all, we don't even know that's really going to be what's going on.
Yeah, but by your logic, he is.
Second of all,
Unless you're going to try to go maturation. I'm trying to say that word, but I can't say it right. But I think it's because of the mouth ulcer I get out right now.
Well, so I know what you mean. And
Maturity.
I
No,
would-
that's still not the word. Alright.
I think that is the word, actually. Maturity.
At least
But-
the phrase I was trying to go for is slightly different, but yeah, whatever.
But either way, no, I don't think it's gonna be technically like that. I think they're gonna retcon it by saying, no, technically she's older than that because it's technically Maria's soul in there. The body may be young and everything, or not young, but the body is gonna be like a new body, but it's still gonna be Maria in there. So it's still gonna be at the very least over 50 years old. The space colony arc thing is canon-wise 50 years prior to the whole entire Sonic and Shadow thing.
There's a lot of things because now I'm questioning what's Sonic's age because now he's dating a mouth or a gilf, depending on how this goes.
Well, first of all, she's not a grandmother because she doesn't have any children of her
Yeah,
own.
but that doesn't matter. She's old enough to be one.
Okay, so technically, here's where the whole entire thing with Sonic and Amy once stood. So Sonic canonically is supposed to be like 15 or so,
Uh-huh.
which
Oh yeah, then he's with the gilf. All right.
hold up, I was gonna say that movie-wise, I think he's technically older
Okay.
because I want to say maybe in the first movie he was about 14 years old.
Yeah, they didn't really explain too much other than he came from another planet and then he
Yeah.
just kept traveling, but never really like, oh, he was this young or older or something like that.
I don't think I even remember seeing a time lapse between when he was little and first came to our world versus like when he actually was older.
Yeah.
I don't think I saw a time lapse, but I'm just taking a wild guess and saying that he was 14 during the time. And then, so by the third movie, I want to say he's probably about 16 years or so. Knuckles, I want to say by the time the third movie comes out, he should be 21, if not 22. Because, if I remember correctly, Knuckles is canonically older than all of them. Or older than not Shadow. Knuckles is technically supposed to be... No, that's me. I think Knuckles is canonically supposed to be older than Sonic and Tails.
Makes sense.
But Tails is supposed to be like younger than even Sonic. Because I think originally he was like 7 years old. Which I can kind of see that from like the basis of like the first movie. I think by this third movie he's possibly going to be like maybe 9 years old. So, originally, Sonic in the original stuff was supposed to be 15. Amy, when he meets her for Little Big Planet, she was technically supposed to be 8 years old. But then something happened. I think Eggman kind of made a weapon and made her age up to 12 automatically.
Alright.
So, technically it's 15 versus a 12-year-old. So that's kind of making it less weird.
But with the soul of a 50-year-old. Alright.
But here's the thing. Originally, the reason Amy liked Sonic was because she read tarot cards and saw that her love would be on Little Big Planet. And after getting kidnapped by Metal Sonic, she ended up meeting Sonic, who saves her. So that's why she originally fell in love with him. Whereas, if we think about it like this, technically it seems a little more feasible in my eyes. That she's kind of confused, and she's remembering things in a weird sequence to give her the impression that she likes Sonic. Like, maybe things will change later down the lines if they make other movies, but as for right now, she kind of likes him only because she liked the color blue, and she remembers a hedgehog.
Seems pretty shallow, but sure.
I mean, they're remaking a lot of the characters in ways that the video games have never touched on, not even the comics have touched on, as far as I know. Because Sonic never originally had a family. As a matter of fact, the comics once said that Sonic is more of Robotnik's first creation. Because back before Eggman was Eggman, he went by another name and was a actual scientist trying to harness the power of the Chaos Emeralds. And he had a green hedgehog that was a pet. I don't think I remember what its name was. Maybe it was still Sonic. but he had his humanoid pet kind of operate like a wheel thing, and somehow an explosion from that kind of made him the blue speed hedgehog, and Eggman lost most of his memories, so that's now why he goes by Eggman now, because his actual name got messed up on his name tag, so he just kind of took it.
Makes sense for that part. Okay.
And so that's how the comics came about. The video games never really talked about the origin of Sonic, like before he started running through Green Hills and everything.
Gotcha.
It was always just, hey, there's a blue hedgehog. Go and collect the rings, fight this fat old ass, and meet some friends along the way. That was it. So, yeah, technically the movies are going in a way that nobody really thought of Sonic to go. And that's why I'm more or less thinking, like, maybe we will see something about this in the way I've said so. Because if Amy comes in and it is, like, Maria's soul in there, fucking hell, that is actually creative, first of all. And second of all, if it comes about that Eggman is starting to be fat because he was betrayed by his grandfather and now he feels kind of low in a slump and everything, that's another thing. And Sonic comes by and says, Eggman, we need your help to stop your grandfather and everything. Okay, fuck it. If I can't rule the world, I might as well save it. And yeah, I think a lot of people were looking at the trailer, and one part of it being Sonic kind of using a flashlight to go around like a lab area. A lot of people are thinking, oh, that has to be Sonic going in through Eggman's lab or something, because of how messy it is, and maybe this is after like Eggman betrayed them and started to be evil again. And it's like, no, because if they try to take the way of the Adventure 2 game, Eggman comes around in the end to try and help save them because he doesn't want to destroy the world. Whereas Shadow's main purpose for majority of the game is because he wants to go along with Gerald Robotnik's plan to completely obliterate all humans. So it wouldn't make sense for Eggman to cross the line back to being evil near the end. It would make sense, however, if they find Eggman, him being a fat ass, and saying, I'm not the biggest threat out there right now. That's my grandfather. Here's where his lab is. You can go and check it out yourself. So yeah, Sonic goes. He looks around in the dark and everything at Gerald Robotnik's laboratory. Because that's another thing too. As much as we want to say that, as much as I want to agree with people like, oh, there's all this like food laying around because Eggman has turned into a slob. No, Gerald Robotnik has been in hiding for over 50 years or so. So, yeah, there would be a reasonable amount of trash in his laboratory as well. He's been down there in secret, kind of building all this stuff, including making a motorcycle for Shadow as well. And kind of redesigning the arc. Which is something that I do want to bring up. Because this shot right here. A lot of people were seeing the red on the outside and thinking that's probably a Shadow going around and everything to try and lift the thing out of the water. Like, no, I don't think that's the same crab monster that we saw at the beginning. I think that's Gerald's new Space Colony arc. Because the Space Colony arc from the video games was just that. It looked like half of a moon. And on one side where it was round, on the other side it was supposed to have his face on it. We don't see anything underneath this, so we can't entirely tell. The other thing that makes me think that this is nearing the end, where they're fighting Gerald Robotnik and Shadow, is if you look at the scenery, oh my god, it's London. I'm trying to figure out where Big Ben might be in all this. Either way, the bridge, at the very least, does make me suspect London, which, yeah, would kind of co-expire, which kind of would back up the claim on, where is it? good God. Okay, it has to be somewhere at the beginning.
Sonic, you finally found your family.
Yeah. Yeah, with all these locations, including... God damn it, I'm trying to stop.
Go ahead.
Yeah, including that bridge right there.
Yeah.
I think that's Team Sonic trying to get on to the new Space Colony arc. And the reason Knuckles is using the Flames of Disaster is to try and break into it. Because obviously, Knuckles, he's a hothead. So he's going to try to break his way into someplace. So it would make sense that he would jump off of a Big Ben in order to actually smash his way into the giant metal fortress. And Sonic is obviously going to run up and try to land on it. So, yeah. Gerald is back. He's trying to get the Space Colony arc back up and running to where he can use it to destroy the world. And he made Maria because he felt so sorry about the fact that she died. He wanted her back, but it didn't turn out right. But still, Amy as Maria, or Maria as Amy, however you want to look at it. She still connects with Shadow in a sort of way to where he kind of feels remorseful about what he's doing in the here and now. So, he's going to try to put a stop to the plan. What do you got? Any plot holes you think I might have not covered? I'll say this would be a perfect time for somebody who actually knew a lot about Sonic to come in.
Yep. Fortunately, Goshi's busy.
Mm-hmm. Go ahead and try to think of whatever you need while I eat. They might disprove a lot of this. And while you do that, what I will do is put on some music. Let's see, what should I play for my list? Mini soundtrack. Okay, I think this thing is having a bit of trouble playing. Have you thought of anything yet?
Not really. It's more the fact that even with all this, it's like... Because the only thing was just the fact that how did he build that entire dome, tower, spaceship thing in 50 years, considering how large it is, and it's a large quantity of steel at best. So, like, how is he even sourcing the material?
He was an evil genius who made multiple things during his youth, and he more likely also had help from Eggman during that time, not knowing what his grandfather was really going to do with it.
Yeah, but it's still built pretty fast.
Well, I mean, you have two evil geniuses. One who's been working on design and everything for over 50 years, and then another one who has plenty of materials from old robots and even able to create some new ones, as we saw in the second movie.
That's true.
So,
Because they're pretty fast, too.
yeah, so I don't think... God dang it. Can you give me a moment?
There's a lot of things I want to talk about. I also want to talk about Lunchley. I mean, the fact is, one of the posts that I saw on Reddit was that they were saying like, oh, like Mr. Beast is only making it worse for himself by like teaming up with scammers and KSI. I guess. Who knows about KSI's situation really? Because I'm not really paying that much attention to him. He's definitely done some stuff, and also he's tried to more or less make other people the villainous, and he gets a little bit criticized, namely Dan DTDM, something like that. I don't really know him, but apparently he's an OG YouTuber. And with all that, it's this real question of like Mr. Beast is not really doing anything revolutionary. You're done? You're done?
Yeah.
I mean, honestly, I don't really have much to say about Sonic. I have a little bit I want to say about Lunchley, though.
You really want to talk about that?
Yeah. Because it's interesting as a thought experiment, but in the end of the day, their claims of it being healthier than a Lunchable is laughable. At best, it's not really healthier. At best, they're only saying it because Prime's in there, as opposed to what is either a Capri Sun or a fruit punch that's just water and the powder of the fruit punch.
I mean, you also gotta admit, Mr. Beast's candy isn't actually like healthy either.
Yeah,
It's like worse than getting a Hershey's bar.
It's no, I don't know about that part, but only because I haven't really looked at the nutrition label and stuff.
I was just about to say, we can go out and look later.
We probably could, honestly. The thing about it though is like in the beginning, Mr. Beast's early material, it was always like, oh, it's made out of only 6 ingredients, and it doesn't really matter because one of those ingredients is sugar. The only difference is like they won't last as long, and then obviously he eventually remade the formula, so now he can't even use the previous advertisement, but it's still there.
Mm-hmm.
And it's not like he's gonna edit it like, oh, we changed it now, so it's no longer the same thing. And obviously the logos look different, but it's still the same company. It's still a Feastable bar. And he's adding it to the Lunchley, which now makes me question, because he also was selling like Carl's gummies or something like that as well, which I question if the Feastable bar is going to have that as well, or is it just going to be pure chocolate bars and that's it. And you know, chocolate's kind of nice just to have, and in the end of the day, you're trying to get kids to like eat something for lunch as opposed to nothing at all.
Mm-hmm.
Which I will admit that the majority of my time in school, I didn't eat lunch at all just because I hated the food. The only time I ever ate was if there was chicken nuggets or pizza. Maybe a burger, but even then it was pretty rare I would eat the burger because I just didn't really care for it.
I always had the burger, but I think that's only because my school had the side ones. There was just mainly the meat and the. There was mainly just the meat and the buns. I don't think there was much
cheese in there, but yeah.
I don't think there was much cheese in the one that my school sold.
I feel like there might have been, but I don't remember. Oh, maybe not. Just for lactose intolerant people, maybe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which is actually kind of funny because when I hung out with Wolf, when we went to North Star Mall a while back, we were talking to one of the guys in one of the shops there who was very enthusiastic about selling alcohol-flavored drinks, which I may take y'all to. I mean, that's who knows.
Alcohol-flavored drinks.
It was basically stuff like lemonade with beer in it and all that kind of stuff. Where you can also
For some reason, I felt like you were saying this in the opposite way, where it's a regular drink but it's alcohol flavored. Like what? But yeah, no, I mean, yeah, regular drinks with alcohol. Yeah.
Yeah, no, it was more or less like beer with slushies.
Yeah, I think I've seen that kind of thing. I mean, at that point, it's just margarita, but it is a beer, so that's slightly more different. If you're saying like if there's actual beer, frozen beer slushy, which is I for some reason never thought of.
I mean, he also does offer to put some vodka or some shot of something in there.
The weird thing is because of the nature of alcohol, it's a lot harder to freeze. So he's going.
Oh.
He's definitely got a more beefed up machine to get it that cold.
Yeah, I would definitely say so. Especially since when we went in there last week, or not last week, like maybe back on, I think it was Sunday when we went there. Yeah, the lemonade the lemonade one wasn't working. It was still just liquid. It
Yeah,
naturally slushified.
Yeah, because alcohol does not freeze at regular temperature.
Yeah.
I don't even know what degree it's supposed to be, but yeah. Only because I was looking at slushy machines, and one of the things was like, oh, you can make a frozen margarita, but like if you do it like, do it at the max settings, and it's really difficult for things with zero sugar.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, no, what I was going to... But to get back to what I was originally going to say, when we were talking to him, Wolf was talking about how back when she used to work at a movie theater, that she found out that they had to replace some things with, instead of stuff like almonds and such, they replaced it with like something else, something that was non-allergenic. Because movie theaters, if they sell something that somebody is allergic to while they're watching a movie, yeah, they can get in trouble. So most theaters usually replace most of the stuff like nuts and such with something else. I think she was talking about like butter, but I can't be entirely sure what was going on. I can't remember much what we were talking about. A lot of things happened that day. It was also one of the reasons why I have a little skull jar.
With water?
Well, I filled it with water. But
Why?
because there's a candy shop in the mall where apparently if you get a jar, you can bring it back and get like 20% off next time you come in.
And you filled it with water, why?
Just to keep it clean, more or less.
But wouldn't have it clean it just to keep the lid on?
I mean, yes, but I also feel like putting a little bit of water in there also helps.
Alright.
Don't judge. I am very unusual in my things.
I mean, it's just an oddity of why you would put water in that thing if like you're not gonna drink it or there's nothing special in it. It'd be one thing if you put sprinkles or glitter in it, or like some weird stuff in there, just to have like a weird snow globe.
I mean, I'm going to be using it again for candy, so...
I guess it's just where you have water.
Oh, I mean, I'm mainly going to put like jelly candy in there.
Yeah.
So, which is also why I have chamoy.
Yes, of course.
Put some jelly candy in the skull. Put some chamoy in there. We got the recipe for a good week. After a very shit-filled week.
Yes. Speaking of being shit-filled, basically the lunch lean. It's just like, if they're doing the same thing as a lunch bowl, I presume like the first few batches are going to be like, here's ham and crackers and cheese and a little Feastable bar along with a prime drink. Which, honestly, it's kind of cool, the idea. Like, YouTubers are making this. But unfortunately, it's like the current Mr. Beast allegations. The fact that Logan Paul is a part of this because, you know, he's always a scammer. He'll scam you for everything he can, every time he can. There's KSI, which I kind of just don't know exactly what's going on with him. I know he had, like, a previous past with shit, but I've so far not seen anything
Is he supposed to be like a music person?
He has made music, but he's a YouTuber from the UK. Everything like that.
Oh, I also heard that apparently Logan Paul and KSI actually worked with Mr. Beast on one of his videos as well. And they kind of like made it fake.
I mean, it's kind of... Which video we're talking about? Because there's too many videos like that.
There was a video where apparently he had a whole bunch of people stay in a single square space.
Oh, okay. It was a bunch of YouTubers all together. Yeah, okay.
Yeah. Because apparently how it was that there was a bus to pick up everybody. But whereas there was like 50 contestants, there was only 48 people on the bus. And that's only because KSI and Logan Paul.
Were you about to say Pokemon or Pokemon?
No, none of those.
Okay.
I think I was about to switch up the P and the L in his names.
Pokemon Logo. I don't know.
That's why I stopped myself halfway through. I was like, Pokemon, what?
Alright, continue.
But yeah, apparently they were already there at the studio.
Of course.
So a lot of people were saying, oh yeah, well, they knew what was going to go on. They knew what was happening. So they were kind of just in on the whole entire thing. They weren't brought there for the entertainment. They were brought there trying to make it entertaining. That's why in one of the parts of the video, apparently Logan left the square to smash a plate because of impulse reasons.
Yeah, there was that where it's like he was so into the idea of like smashing a plate he hasn't done so long. And part of me is like, I could slightly believe it if you want to like just go with the YouTube personality. and avoid everything else he's done outside of YouTube. You know.
Sure, if you want to go outside of the reason why he was also banned from going back to Japan. Which somebody brought up to him a while back. I think it was a fighter.
Of course. Yeah, he would be. There's that too. Logan Paul is not a good guy in any way.
No.
And unfortunately, he's part of a really big YouTuber led based business. And here's the thing. Do you know Dan DTM?
I know the name and everything. I just don't know the person.
I don't either. I just know the name. Like, he's big OG YouTuber.
Mm-hmm.
That's about it. Like, he basically criticized them because of the fact, like, hey, all you're doing is just selling bad shit to children, trying to make money, like, consistently.
Yeah.
And at some point, it is just that. It's like, you're not doing this because it's healthy for them. You're doing this because you can make money off of it.
Yeah. Which, I mean, is understandable. As far as I've seen, like, there's still a ton of Prime being sold.
Yeah.
And then there's a Walmart that's still selling a lot of Mr.Beast chocolate.
Yeah. We're selling it too, surprisingly, but
I have never come across it. I have never gone to look for it.
No, I know where it is. I just have not. It's super rare for me to see it at a register. But when I do, it's usually a child.
I've never seen it brought up to me, honestly.
I've seen it maybe 3 times since it came to our store. And I think only one of them was New Bar.
I mean, is it even still there when you say it like that?
It's still there. It's just, it's not like the display case that we have, like, not the display, the one that's right next to our checkout stand. It's really just in the candy aisle, and that's it. And it's like a really small section. But he definitely paid big bucks because, like, it's right in the middle of eye level.
Mm.
So he definitely paid money for that spot. I think we only got like 3-4 different kinds of his bars in our store. I have not seen if there's the trick-or-treater bag one version of it, though. This is basically like just a bunch of small bars all together, so you could give it to trick-or-treaters.
I feel like if we had that, we would have already stocked it.
We probably would have, but I think either Mr.Beast decided not to sell that again because the thing is...
The allegations?
No, because parents aren't really going to be the ones to buy it.
Yeah, that is...
It's only the children that will want it. And the thing is like, children only want candy. Like, as much as like, oh, it's from my favorite YouTuber, and they constantly saying like, oh, it's better than Hershey's, and everything, all that. It's like, you would still take a Hershey's.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know any kid that would still pick, like, just some random bar.
Yeah.
Rather than some chocolate they've had for years.
Yeah.
Because obviously, if you're going to be like, oh, I'm going to take this to school with me, I'm going to eat it in front of everybody, like, that's one thing.
Yeah.
But, like, for Halloween candy, no.
Yeah. Plus, even then, it's like I said, it's like for Halloween candy, like parents are getting either the good shit or like a bag of candy that's cheap. That's it. But they're still participating. But then it's a Feastable bar thing. It's like, why would I want to get this?
Or in cases like my dad, he's going to buy candy that he enjoys. That way, even if he gives it out, there's a chance that he's going to be able to keep the entire bag.
Alright, I'll come back later then. I'll just come back.
I'm not even joking about that. Like, he'll buy a bar with, like, Hershey's, Reese's, and something else. And most of the time, we don't even get trick-or-treaters around the house.
I assume so, because, like, as much as it looks like you could do it, especially being so close to a school. Then again, most places are close to a school, the more I think about it. It's like, even all that, it's like...
Well, it's also the fact that the neighborhood, a lot of the kids have already grown up and everything to the point to where it's like, we don't want to do Halloween. Or, like, it's cheaper just to buy our own candy and just go with that.
It's cheaper and it's just faster.
And you also don't run the risk of somebody giving out something stupid.
Well, that depends, because it's... Well, what do you mean stupid? Because there's, like, 2 things I'm thinking about, but go on.
Well, let me say it in 2 different categories. There's the nasty category, and then there's the unusual category.
Wait, what's the first one?
The nasty candy.
Oh, nasty. Okay.
Yeah, that's mainly the candy that could be good to one person, but maybe you don't like. Like,
yeah.
Like how I don't like Red Hots and everything.
I'm not into that either.
Yeah, I don't know what it is. Just a strong cinnamon, I guess.
Probably.
But yeah, and then there's the unusual one where people will give out like I think I once had a neighbor that gave out like toothbrushes and such.
That
During
is
one
weird.
Halloween.
Like, I get it, and like maybe the family's like, oh, thank you. We don't have to buy toothbrushes anymore for a while, at least. But at the same time, to the child, it's like, what am I gonna do with this? It's like, you're gonna brush your teeth after all that candy you get, man.
Mm-hmm.
But that is slightly unusual. I feel like theirs is more. Here's the thing: it would suck if you get it and then you went to the next house and they also had the same thing.
Or like you go to the next house and they had toothpaste and everything.
Oh, that'd be
It's kind of
funnier. It's like,
It's
here's
all,
the entire.
you conspired together.
Yeah, and then the third one has mouthwash,
It's all like this fucking neighborhood is a lie.
and then the fourth one's got the dental floss. I was like, oh, fuck you.
No, it's all like the fourth one had like a monster candy bar. It's all like, thank you. Oh no, you should have came to this house first. Fuck this neighborhood. Like, you should have came to the house that gave you the really huge candy bars, and then go to the ones that gave you the toothbrush, toothpaste, the mouthwash.
I should have just made it gotcha. It's like, yeah, just turn that and hope you get something good. And when it was a pill box, like, what the fuck am I supposed to do with this? You'll know when you're older.
Don't talk about my Nana like that.
Okay.
No, thank God. I have no idea what she ever did during Halloween, but at the very least, I'm sure she never gave out, like, actual pill bottles that were empty. I don't think she was senile.
It'd be even weirder if, like, they just gave you money instead. Like, what the fuck? Alright.
No, what I actually like is those people who joke about their senile grandparents and it was all like, oh, hey, it's my birthday. It was my birthday today. Oh, here you go. Here's $20. 10 minutes later, oh, hey, it's my birthday today. Oh, here you go. Here's $20. And then seeing how...
Wonders was playing along, and it's like, I still have money. See how many times we'll do it.
I mean, it's funny if they played along, but then again, it's also funnier to think that somebody actually tricked their grandma into giving them $100 in a single day.
Yeah. It's a bit more fucked up, honestly. It's like, I hope that happens to you in the future, and you fucking don't realize it. And then one day you're just like, why am I out $100? Oh.
Like, didn't I have enough to pay for my food? What happened? What did I do today? I gave my grandson $20, didn't I?
Yeah.
It was today his birthday? Maybe I should go give him some money.
Yeah.
And then the process starts without anybody doing anything.
But yeah, there's that. And the thing is, like, now I'm thinking about, like, other Lunchable stuff. Like, because we have the nacho one and then the pizza and the chicken nuggets. And it's like, these are not healthy. But the thing is, when you consider the fact that you're trying to feed a child anything just so they have something to eat and not hungry, you suddenly can't play like, oh, let me make this as like healthy as possible and like also delicious.
I mean, that's how you get obese children that can barely fit into our carts.
There's definitely parents that just put like their 7-year-old on top of the cart and it's like, he can't even be in there anymore, but alright. It's more annoying when they're like still in the basket and it's like, can they just not get off of this and then let us put the groceries in there that you got in?
I saw a kid yesterday who just literally had his legs in his shirt just sitting in the basket. And it's like, I'm pretty sure that kid is like almost 10 years old right now. Why is he still in there?
Yeah.
But then again, I'm also thinking like, why the fuck do I give a shit about other people's kids?
I agree. It's like, that's kind of cool. He's in the basket. Then it's like, you better not make this harder on me, kid. You put all your groceries in there. That's the only thing. Just like, you're the cashier. I haven't got you shit, maybe. But if it's like you're the bagger, it's like, well, fucking, there's a kid here, and I'm not supposed to like just throw it in there.
Yeah, that's why whenever I see a kid in the basket, I don't even mess with the bags. I just let the parent deal with it.
Yeah, because like,
if they complain,
that's your problem. You're the one who put the groceries on top of the kid. Now you get to put them again.
Yep, and if the parent ever complains to me about it, I'm all like, it's still a rule. We can't do it when there's a child in the basket. Like, I'm technically bullshitting them in a sense, but it's also like, fuck you. This is technically your fault.
It's easier. Yeah.
So.
I don't know. There's times I just want to be violent with a customer. But it's usually just either they're trying to steal or, you know, every once in a while we go to the parking lot and they leave their trash. It's like, I want to throw this into your car. I want to tape your car and you can't get in. And then I want to make sure I set fire to your car so you can't come back. But then they're going to come back in the bus and then it's like, well, now we have to use these baskets because we have to fit in. Then, oh, I need a double bag. Also, I'm going up the stairs. It's like, part of me understands the idea of like, if you're going to carry the bags for a really long time, eventually it's going to tear, depending on what's in there and then how stuff it is. Which I blame the store for telling us like, oh yeah, put in like 6 or 8 items in there. It's like, most of the items I could barely fit are like 3 or 4 comfortably.
Yeah.
Afterwards, it's like, there's a chance it's just going to tear. Especially if it's a boxy item that's heavy.
No, real quick, this is actually kind of funny that I just saw randomly.
What is it?
So I went back to Google to look more at the page and everything. I saw this, why Maria Robotnik not fat? I'm not going to show it because it's technically on my Reddit. Anyways, it's talking about how Eggman has been like 128 throughout the years. Nega, who is technically Robotnik's descendant from the future, is also 128 kilogram. And then Gerald Robotnik is 88 kilograms. Maria over here, she's just 32 kilograms, only 70 pounds. And it's like, first of all, you're comparing grown men to a girl that's probably not even 15 years old.
Yeah.
Second of all, she died.
That too. She didn't get to that age.
Yeah, she never got old enough to try to maybe experience it.
She could have been a big mousy mom. Can't even say words. Goddamn my mouth.
I think it's also a possibility that some genetic genes also only affect like males or females of the family.
Yeah,
So-
I feel like that's mostly the case.
So if they have a condition like my brother does where he's constantly getting bigger and everything, yeah, more likely it's probably only going to affect the males.
Yeah, probably.
So, yeah, Maria is sitting over here comfortably only knowing that she was so petite when she died.
Sure.
And yeah, I kind of wanted to talk about the Sonic and Shadow game today, but because Makochi wasn't here,
Yeah.
because I wanted to try and get his input on like what he more than likely would want out of the game. Because I can only imagine you have no interest in actually playing it.
I don't, but most games I don't, except for the one I am right now. And then I'm
I mean-
still constantly getting PS5.
I mean, you're also only contemplating it for like the Dragon Ball Sparks.
That one and also GTA 6, because so far there's no word that's going to be PC compatible.
It's probably going to be away from the PC for about maybe a month, maybe half a year. I don't see it staying away for too long.
That's also true. The only thing is that I keep forgetting that you need like season passes. So it's like, oh yeah, here's the game. Now pay for a season pass. It's like, you bastards. Alright.
Yep, with consoles, you actually gotta pay for memberships or subscriptions.
Oh, and then there's the PlayStation Store. You have to pay. What's the difference? This is what I don't really know. Because there's the Game Pass that you get from the game, but then there's PlayStation Store Pass you have to get too.
That might be a thing completely different on PlayStation.
Okay, I might have to
'Cause-
listen to that a bit more.
Because I know with Game Pass for the Xbox,
Yeah.
it basically like, oh hey, every now and then you can play this game completely for free, as well as play online with your friends and everything. So, there's that. I don't know how it works with PlayStation. I kind of stopped with the, I think it was the PS3 was the last one that I actually used. So, I have no idea what the PS4 or the PS5 is up to. I just know that back then I always had to pay for a game. The subscriptions during the time that I was on never allowed for free games. Or if they did do free games, it was more likely like shitty games.
But yeah, so far only 2 games that I basically want to play. There's not really other games. Like there's definitely gonna be other games, but it's like I'm not really gonna be actively looking for it. And plus, it's a question of do I want to get a console that's digital or disk drive. And fortunately, there's 2 people at work. They're like, I've told this to, and they were already like, oh, I'll sell you my PS5. One of them's offering it to me for $200, and the other one's offered me the PS5 Slim for $350. The part of me is like, that's not bad deals.
I mean,
because right now the PS5 is still $400, and then
yeah.
the Slim is $500 basically.
I was gonna say, if you're looking at it from the basis of getting a digital or getting a physical
but the
player,
PS5 Slim that he's giving me has a disc drive on it, so it's like, oh, okay, that's pretty good.
I was gonna say, because I know I somewhat agree with a lot of people that the ones with the built-in disc drive, it doesn't look all that good because it doesn't look sleek.
Yeah, there's that too.
But it's also the fact that it's probably better because, again, we've been seeing a lot of game companies kind of taking their games out of digital and completely taking it out of people's library.
Yeah,
So,
there's that too.
it's kind of like, do you want to run the risk of never seeing the game again and saying that you had it but without actually showing it? Or do you want to take the risk of your PlayStation looking weird and bumpy but still being able to show off an old game that no longer exists?
I will agree that when the PS5 came out, I liked the design, but then like after you get rid of get it over it, it's like, this is very impractical. Just how it is. It's like, god damn it. Just give me a box. Because there's something about being able to stack stuff on top of it. Not obviously not heavy stuff, but like you could probably put your other like games on top of it.
I mean, last week you already, for some reason, said something about putting a drink on top of it.
I did think about that too, where it's like, I worry about that, where I don't think about it. And it's like, oh, I'm going to just put it momentarily, because my entire room's a mess.
Walmart is constantly giving out messages.
Walmart?
Yeah.
For what?
I have the app, so they're constantly trying to send out messages about deals and such.
Oh, the notifications from Walmart?
Yeah.
Oh, okay, yeah, I know what you mean. I'm surprised you haven't changed the notifications to just not get them.
I haven't been too concerned.
Then why have it? Why bother having a notification?
But yeah, like I was talking about earlier, some people have made Maria into an actual hedgehog for the reason of keeping her alive. No idea what else, but it kept her alive. Let me go ahead and change it. So it's kind of one of the reasons why I think turning Maria into a hedgehog is not going to be entirely a bad idea. Also, in some of these pictures, she does kind of look like another version of Amy. So let's see. Talked about the movie. Talked about Lunchy, was it again?
Lunchley, yeah.
Lunchley. Which again is a very stupid name.
Nah, it's fine.
I mean,
It's
they could have came up with something better.
Nah. It's more of a question to me. It's like, how are they going to sell Prime exactly? Are they selling the Prime bottle as is, or is it a bottle of water with the Prime mixture?
I think if anything, it's probably going to be like a mini Prime bottle.
It seems more likely, because I feel like that's what I saw in the advertisement. Briefly, that it was an actual Prime bottle. Actually, I'm surprised they don't sell Prime water. Just like Gatorade water is selling right now.
Honestly, I'm surprised they're not doing like their own kind of stuff with it as well. Like, instead of doing a pizza, they have their own thing to it.
Like what?
I don't know. Instead of like Lunchable pizza, it's like they make the crackers or whatever. They just put like Ritz crackers in there with a little bit of sauce and just kind of fuck over the entire thing.
Here's the thing. There's a strong chance that this alternative to Lunchables is actually still being created by Lunchables. And they're just not saying that it is.
If it is, they're going to go bankrupt real fast with that.
I mean,
I can see a few people buying it because it has Logan Paul and Mr.Beast on it.
yeah.
But then again, with all this allegation towards Mr.Beast, with all this stuff going on with Logan Paul, I can see the whole entire thing getting discontinued real fast, and that's money they lost.
Not really. Depending on how they made it to be, they probably asked them up front for a lot of money. And it's like, we're not taking loss. But at the same time, it's more like...
I really don't see Logan agreeing to something like that.
There's that possibility, too.
Especially not after the whole entire thing with Prime not selling every last unit they had. So...
There was something like that.
Yeah.
I don't remember what it was, but there was something like that. But that might have been just in foreign markets. I don't know about in America.
Yeah, I was going to say, last week I think we talked about it, and you were saying how overseas it probably didn't sell too well, and that was the whole thing.
Yeah,
But-
mostly like in India and Africa, because like they didn't give a shit. But like in Europe and Japan, maybe Japan, I don't know. It's weird to think about the more I say that, because it's like what he's done.
Yeah, I was just about to say, with Japan, I'm pretty sure they want nothing to do with Logan Paul.
But in North America, for sure, like it's just Europe. It sold out faster. And then in America, like there's barely, like there's always in stock. But yeah, like I would not be surprised if it's actually made in the same Lunchable factory, and then it's like, to them it's like, right, we're selling the meat at cost more or less, we're keeping our employees employed, and because we're asking for so much meat at the exact same time, we can actually get it for a cheaper price. But who knows?
Either way, I still don't think that it's a good idea for Lunchables to try and do this kind of stuff with them. That's a huge risk that they're taking. But, you know, a company is going to do what they're going to do because they make so much money, so...
Well, the thing is, there was the Mr.Beast burger thing that I think is still going on, but not really, because...
I can double check on that, because I think I heard allegations about that as well.
There's that too. Mr.Beast was going to sue them, mainly because of the poor quality of the meat. And, well, not the meat, the entire meal is. Because sometimes they were served raw, sometimes it wasn't prepared correctly. They sometimes felt cheap.
No, I will not give you my location for this. I don't want anything to do with Mr. Beast Burger.
The thing is, Mr. Beast Burger is really just a ghost kitchen. So it's not like an actual physical Mr. Beast Burger. It's just like, here's this place that will sell you Beast Burger, and as long as they have the containers and everything they need, they can sell it. But then, like, you're completely trusting just a random person that decided they will open up the ghost kitchen to it to sell you a Mr. Beast Burger. And what it's turned out is that sometimes what will happen is there will be one business owner that will set up multiple versions of multiple businesses under selling the exact same thing, but they'll price each one slightly different, and at the same time they'll just like change the thing a bit differently, but it's all the same thing made at the exact same place, all just so they can increase revenue.
Okay, so apparently there is a Mr. Beast Burger in San Antonio.
Is that like a physical location?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, it definitely seems like it, because the Yelp review definitely shows like an inside.
Show that sign, wow.
So I guess kudos. Wait, do they? No, for a second I thought that was a burrito. Somebody forgot the actual burger.
That's a possibility.
How do you fuck up that bad? You forget a burger. That kid's dream got so crazy. Where is the egg?
No, I think that's the grilled cheese, Carl's grilled cheese, something like that. Where basically you use two hamburger buns, you flip it inside out, and then put the cheese in the middle.
First of all, that's an extremely stupid use of a hamburger bun.
Yeah.
Second of all, that still should not make any sense.
But that's how they did it. I don't know why.
This is the only image I can agree with. Having fries in the burger.
Oh yeah, I think it's like wild style or something like that, or animals. No, actually, I think I'm thinking of something else. A game like this. Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. Because like they cooked it really fast, but they cooked it so fast they didn't fucking let it cook.
Yeah, that looks so nasty. That looks like the intestine still.
Yeah, it just didn't get cooked through.
He's suing his ghost partner,
Yeah.
his ghost kitchen partner.
Yeah, basically. I think he lost maybe just because the way things were going, but because like Mr. Beast breaches the contract as well, but they breached the contract as well because like the quality of food isn't there. But Mr. Beast is like, well, I'm not gonna advertise this then. You just keep expanding stores, but then all the food that's right there is just shit, and now I'm getting the backlash for it because of your
Like-
incompetency.
Like, he made this whole entire thing back in, what was it, like
It's the
2018 or something like that?
Around the pandemic.
Around the pandemic?
Yeah.
I could have sworn it was like a little bit beforehand.
It might have been, honestly. I don't remember. I feel like it was during the pandemic it might have taken off.
I feel like that would have been a bad move. Like, trying to make an actual, like, dine and dash place during the time of the pandemic. But either way, he made this, and I'm pretty sure he was saying something about expanding the location. And yeah, he never checks up on anything but the place that he actually goes to.
No, I was right. November 10, 2020. So, pandemic.
That still seems like a really dumb move for him, but I mean, with the fact that all
Well, the thing is, it was like drive-through first. So it wasn't actually like, oh, you can go inside and sit and eat. Like, it was a drive-through place, an actual one. And then people kind of wanted an actual thing, so you just went with it.
it still seems kind of dumb because it's still like interacting and touching other people during a time when that wasn't supposed to be happening.
Well, people have to eat. People still went to fast food places.
That still happened, but it was still the fact that everybody tried to keep their distance. Whereas I don't think Mr. Beast kind of gave his crew that exact order.
Considering the allegations, probably not.
Yeah, including the allegation about a lot of his subordinates getting retinol.
I don't remember this at all, but
It was basically like a medication, like almost something like crack cocaine, where it kept them up and had them working throughout all days of the week.
well, damn, alright. No,
Yep.
I ain't working now then. It's like, whoa, there's a difference between me like just going for it and then you give me a drug to make me work more. It's like, no. Give me the crack cocaine at that point. Just let me
Yeah.
get addicted.
Yeah, it was a person that was working directly under Mr. Beast that was handing out the medication and everything.
How are they getting this?
I-
Isn't that supposed to be like something you have to like get it over the counter?
More than likely, Ritalin is something that would have to be prescribed. I don't know how they were getting it, but
Or I had a pharmacy doctor somewhere. It's like, hey, I need this. Here, just give me the doctor's note.
I mean, with big YouTubers becoming more and more like Hollywood stars, I wouldn't doubt that they had their own person off to the side.
There's that too.
It's still kind of disappointing in the fact that it's like, how do I say? It's disappointing in the fact that the video that I saw was basically a editor. He worked with some other people beforehand, and then he went to work with Mr. Beast. And at first he showed him like really good work, something that he was actually proud of doing. But then as he started working more for Mr. Beast, like he started getting more and more burnouts to where they started handing out basically cocaine to the staff members. And to the point to where even Jimmy made like a false account name and was trying to tell people like, hey, if y'all ever need this kind of stuff, let me know and I'll get y'all hooked up with it. So, I think he said the only reason they knew that that was actually Jimmy and not just some random person was because he sent out a link of, like, some kind of foot thing, I guess, to, feet identification. Because I think I heard about that before in an old Zack and Cody show where they take a baby's foot and they kind of, like, stamp it onto a piece of paper, like a fingerprint. And Mr. Beast sent out his without actually taking away the fact that it said Jimmy something. So, I'm guessing where he was trying to show that his alt account was an actual person, he just basically let people know, hey, it's actually me, Jimmy, on here.
I feel like I do remember hearing something about that, but like it might have been the Dogpack 404 video, but I kind of just blanked out because, like, at some point I was just like, I'm gonna listen to it, and then I'll just slowly go to my phone to play my game, and just like I get distracted by my game, and then come back to the video.
I mean, I kind of get that. Let me go on here real quick and probably go down.
Oh, this is recent to you, or is this gonna be like last time where you just kept going and going and going?
No, it was earlier this week. I won't say like maybe a day or two ago.
You ain't finding it.
There's a chance I might. Just don't look at a lot of the music videos. Because, yeah, I got bored on some.
Do you remember what it was, the video topic that led you to that?
No, if I remember correctly, I was just at my computer doing something else entirely. They just ran with.
Was that one he's done?
Oh, yeah. I'm pretty sure this is it.
That might have been at least the retinol thing.
Sorry, I don't have to.
His reputation even more. He's now being called out by OG YouTubers like Dan TDM, who
Okay.
I don't think has ever spoken on any.
Yeah, because this is where I learned about lunch.
Lunch
Lunchly.
wholesome as
Okay.
well. So you know that when he actually feels the need to step in and call something out, it's gotta be bad. And I have to agree, man. Mr. Beast said he wants to help people. In the past, he's literally said, "Okay, handing out Adderall to make the employees."
Adderall. Okay.
Okay, that makes more sense. I was like, retinol. Isn't that something else?
I could have
But
sworn.
it sounds like what you're trying to say was.
I could have sworn it was called retinol. I mean, now I kind of want to look up what retinol is just to make sure I am at the very least within the same.
I feel retinol is like a painkiller, but I don't know.
I mean, if that's the case, I'll take some right now.
If only I remember what where my coach is at, because he could have like told us to me like you probably mean this. TINOL. Wait, retinol's like the eye. Right, chemical in the eye. Ah, retinoid. Retinol. Wait, what's that? Oh no, that's just asking what is retinol? Yeah, retinol exam. That's what it is. It just sounds right. I think it's just nothing. I think it is Adderall, just Adderall.
What was the drug rehab called? That is the stupidest thing I've seen.
Intervention, I don't know.
Okay, so it might have been that I was thinking of the wrong wording for it, but
Well, it's besides the point. We already know.
Work more, and a bunch of more insane things.
How long did you work for Jamie for? Almost 3 years. I started off with me editing for Beast Reacts in 2018. Did a lot of work to really prove myself on that, and then became editor and post-production manager. Moved out to North Carolina, worked on more main channel videos. They wanted me to work on main channel videos, but they also wanted me to head this other subsidiary company they had called Horizontal Productions. During that time, I was post-production manager, I was also production manager, I was also an editor, and I was also a retention specialist. Like,
Wow.
and yeah, so I had four main I had four full-time jobs. Like, I worked Thanksgiving, Christmas, my 30th birthday, 4th of July.
That doesn't sound that different from me right now.
well, no, this one he's forced. We can have off on Christmas and Thanksgiving. Okay, let me put it another way. You choose to work on the holidays.
Yeah, you could say that. That's one.
I want to try to get to the part of the video where he basically shows that the messages are from actually Jimmy.
That's probably
And
that.
that's him admitting right there that, like, he is part of the crew that's passing around Adderall in the company. And by the way, in that message, John Smith is Jimmy. And it's funny that my proof of that being Jimmy is this.
There we go. Yeah. So,
Jimmy
Yeah.
Dolls. Okay, that's how.
yeah. So, apparently, I guess he was trying to prove that John Smith was supposed to be, like, an actual person or something. But, yeah, he ended up just basically saying, like, yeah, this is actually Jimmy.
Basically, unless this is an elaborate joke from the guy that, oh yeah, I'm gonna pretend I'm Jimmy, and that's it, which I doubt.
Yeah.
John Smith is the fucking like.
It's right up there with Jon Snow or John Doe.
John Doe.
That's it.
John Smith is like the highest one. There's John Smith is the most generic fucking name that people think of.
No, because John Doe is literally supposed to be an anagram for an unknown person.
That's first, but
Yeah, that's why throughout like most of Joker's life, like he's usually referred to as John Doe, because like he has no records and everything. Especially when it comes to the Telltale games with Batman.
Yeah.
Throughout most of the game, during the first and second one, they just call him John Doe, because he has no actual name or anything. He just popped up in the Arkham Asylum one day. So yeah, it's kind of funny to think that he was possibly trying to do something about John Smith, but then ended up with a 4.8 out of 5 with something about his feet, which I'm kind of scared to find out what all of this even is.
Well, it's a collaborative celebrity feet website, so people have taken people's feet and then put in that website. So
I'm gonna
I
walk
don't
away
wanna
from
know.
that idea.
I don't want to know any more than that.
No, not at all.
If I could go back in time, maybe.
It's funny because I was even listening to a song talking about this is the internet.
Yeah.
I don't know if a lot of people have heard that one. I'm kind of worried on playing that one on stream. But yeah, it's a very popular song. Welcome to the internet.
Oh yeah, I know. It's from Bo Burnham, but the thing is, like, there's been remixes
Yeah.
of it by other people.
But yeah, so that's all the things going on with Jimmy. Apparently, Beast Burger is going downhill. Possibly the toy line is going to be next. He's
I
launching.
forgot about the toy line. Yeah, he did make the toy line.
Yeah.
The thing is, it's a weird thing. It's a weird category. It's clearly for young children, because while you might not be allowed to advertise to children, that does not mean you cannot make a product and then mention it slightly, and then just say it's sponsored by this. This video is sponsored by this company that I own
Yeah.
or a partner with, and then just let that be the thing, because, well, it's okay. I'm allowed to say I have a sponsor, right? Alright, I'm not marketing to children directly. I'm marketing to my YouTube audience. Some of them happen to be children. But really, if you look at my analytics, they're all 15, 40 years old, even though they're using their parents' account to watch my videos.
I mean, I wouldn't doubt that part. But second of all, I want to talk about the whole entire sponsor thing, because I've been constantly getting emails from Streamlabs about sponsors,
Yeah,
which I don't know if it's real or fake.
I think that's a real thing.
But yeah, a lot of them seem like mobile game kind of stuff, which is why I've never gotten back to them on it.
It's always risky.
I think 1 or 2 times they tried to advertise to me Raid, and the moment I saw that word, I was like, nope.
Yeah. Some games aren't worth it, man.
Yeah, no.
And also, like, they know they'll get their money back from you, especially if you're a whale. It's like, oh yeah, here's $200. You can use that money and just give it right back to us.
I mean, it's funny to think of that because I have spent some money on mobile game ads, but kind of like ones I actually play. I don't think if I were to advertise a game, I would actually be playing it. So,
See, I wish I could say I never spent money, but the thing is, it doesn't matter if I didn't spend money. It's the amount of time that I spent on it. that's more egregious to me sometimes.
Yeah.
Because it does make you wonder, like, what would I be doing with all the time if I'd never played the game? And the thing is, either I've killed myself or I just,
Why would that be the first thought?
I don't know, depression. You need to escape stuff sometimes.
I mean, I do, but that's only because my family pisses me off. So
That's that too.
I go into a video game, I kill hordes of monsters.
But it's more like you eventually get tired of the few things you do.
Yeah, there are times where I play a game for a little bit and I have not gone back to them.
Yeah, but to me it's like, because I'm always reading manga, and then I'm watching YouTube videos, but every once in a while I just get tired of both of them. I'm like, let me play this game. But then I get tired of the game. But suddenly, I don't know where I got back to manga again. It's like, okay, I'm feeling better now. Like, it slightly, like, recharges my ability to read again.
Yeah, I feel like you shouldn't do two things at once because that's going to make the burnout even worse.
Yeah, no, I do that a lot.
Whereas, like, if you play video games for a long period of time, after a while you'll want to go back to watching videos.
Yeah, you're eventually going to burn out for something.
Yeah.
You just need to switch to something else.
Which is another reason why I like playing a lot of these AFK games. Because it's kind of like, you can play it for a little bit and then put it down to go do something else. So that way you don't get burned out of it to the point to where you don't want to ever play it.
Yeah, I understand your point with that. It's the same thing with me doing it with the auto clicker, just letting it play for me.
I mean, I still
Or do
feel like
something else. But the thing is, like, eventually I need like a third thing.
I still feel like your thing is still a bit more of a cop out than anything else.
The other thing, I need a fifth thing, because technically it's either I read manga, I watch YouTube videos, I play the game, I go to work. So I need a fifth thing besides what we're doing right now.
I mean, could always try to do a personal project.
I thought you were about to say go to the gym and shit. It's like, damn,
Nah. I mean, I'd tell myself first that before you.
there's that too. There's
I
the
mean-
fact that I kind of want to, but at the same time it's just like, I'm not going to spend money on that and then just go once. It's a waste of fucking money.
Yeah, no, I definitely agree with that. Because I went to Gold's Gym for a while, and I was all like, okay, I'm going to go ahead. I'm going to go here. I'm going to do all this stuff. I'm going to try to be very active. I think I went there for a month, and I saw, like, the membership was high enough. I was like, nope, never mind. Let me go ahead and cancel and never come back.
There's that too, where it's like, this is a lot of money. Like, yeah, I went there a lot of times, but it's like, I could have been using that money somewhere else.
Like, I'm also one of those people that don't like to kind of do exercise and everything in front of people because I feel self-conscious enough about it.
That is an interesting thought process, because when you think about it, it's like, oh, I'm going to change myself. But then you remember, you're going to be in front of other people when you're doing this. It's like, oh,
Yeah, and
this is uncomfortable.
I've seen enough of those fucking videos where a random girl is like filming herself or whatever,
There's that
and
too.
then there's like a guy behind her that's perfectly minding his own business, but then she gets pissed off at him.
Oh, yeah, because, like, you're in my shot. Like, lady, this is
She-
a public gym.
Either the guy's in her shot, or like that one video about the guy who's like blind, so he's kind of just staring off,
Oh,
but she
I
thinks
did
that
hear
he's
about
looking.
that. Yeah, he makes the video. And it's like, yeah, I can't see what's in front of me. I can still go to the gym, bitch.
Yeah,
I'm
it's
just
like,
blind.
yeah, it's not like being blind keeps him from working out or anything. It's just when he's staring off in a direction, it's just don't be in that direction.
Yeah.
It's as simple as that, but people don't think about it.
Yeah. I will say that I do worry about gym creeps, but then again, it's like, I know I'm not going to be one, because I'm going to avoid that as much as possible, but at the same time, it's like, what am I going to do if I see somebody else and I'm noticing that, like, he's, like, really staring at somebody else really hard? Like, what the fuck are you doing? Like, at what point will I do something?
I mean,
And part of me is like, will I just leave and not tell the person anything, or will I just, like, slightly go behind that person and just, like, block the view, and then just wait if that guy moves around just to get a better view again?
funny enough, in my head, I'm thinking, oh, I'm gonna be the guy that goes up to the guy nonchalantly, try to start a conversation with him
Oh, that's
to see whether or
interesting
not
thought. Okay, yeah.
to see whether or not he's like actually creeping. But then it's also like a part of me is all like, I really don't want to mess with anybody here. 'Cause
I agree
want to just
with that
do my
part
own
too.
thing.
That's
So it's kind of like, do I want to try to be the dick, or do I want to try to be like a hero? And it's all like, I'm more than likely going to turn out to be a dick, so let me just not do it.
Yeah. I don't know. It does make you question, like, how often is this happening? And it's like, it probably happens often, but the thing is, like, in a, like, one location, probably not that often, you know?
Yeah.
It's like, it happens often if you think of, like, the entire state of Texas. But if you think of just, like, that one Gold's Gym that's near you, it's like, probably not that often.
Yeah, probably not, but it's still one of those things that you kind of think about every now and then.
Yeah. It worries you.
Yeah.
The thing, it's the same thing with the gym thing you were telling me about with girls, like, just film themselves.
Yeah. Like, they're casually filming themselves, even though it's supposed to be, like, a public gym.
Yeah, especially when it's like there's a mirror right behind them, and that's on purpose because they kind of want to be able to show their ass at the exact same time. While they're
I mean, I wasn't thinking that. I was thinking more of, like, the mirror is behind them because
yeah.
they don't want somebody just casually staring at them.
Oh yeah. I mean, you can still
Yes.
stare through the mirror.
I mean, if they're looking at the mirror, they can definitely tell when somebody is staring at them. But it's kind of also like, you gotta figure if you're a girl, you're gonna have your rear end to the mirror. That way, like, people know that you're watching still in some kind of way. So there's no way for them to creep on it.
Wait, what?
Like, if the girl has her back towards the mirror,
Yeah.
and the rest of her towards, like, everybody else who would be creeping, more than likely people would not be creeping because they think that she's aware of it. So they're not gonna try.
Oh, I was just gonna say, you could probably just stare at the mirror to stare at her.
No, because I feel like if you're staring in the same direction, the girl will more than likely still be able to tell that either you're staring at her or you're staring at her ass in the mirror.
Yeah, I can see that. Yeah.
So, just a little tidbit to a lot of girls: make sure your back end is towards the mirror. Might help you kind of not be in the way of creeps.
I feel like they know what to do in most cases because they're the ones the most conscious.
I feel like some kind of know. Some of them are just dumb enough to not even try, and then they still blame somebody for creeping.
I think they just want to be able to blame, just to make it slightly more exciting for their life.
That's a sad life. Like, if you're purposely doing all this stuff to blame somebody just so that way you have an exciting life, you have a very sad life.
How else are they supposed to get attention?
I don't know, get a boyfriend? Actually try to have a family? Get pets?
Yeah, but they want more attention than that.
I have a cat that won't leave me alone. I have a cat that won't leave me alone because she's more or less like my daughter in a sense. So anytime like I'm away from the house, she gets a little nervous and starts crying.
Mm-hmm.
Or like even
But now it's too clingy.
And even if she comes into my room to bug me, she'll just lay on the floor.
No, I mean, but the girls don't want clingy.
And just be an actual person and tell them to give you some space. Don't play those stupid ass mind games.
You know they want to.
Fuck them then.
I'll try.
If I want a girlfriend, I want a girlfriend who's gonna be honest with me, not somebody who's gonna try to play mind games with me and go, "Oh, I would need some space. Can you like not be here for the day?" And then like next day she texts me and says like, "Hey, why weren't you with me yesterday?" It's like, I fucking wonder why. Like, girls, y'all have to understand, guys like us, especially the two of us, are dense ass motherfuckers. You tell us you want space for the day, we will leave you alone for the fucking day. At least that's how I do it. I have no idea how Akira would do it. He may leave you alone for only an hour.
I don't know about that.
You heard it from here. He's only gonna leave you alone for a minute.
No, not even that. I just don't think you're ever going to see me again.
I mean, with the way you work, yeah, that might actually be feasible.
Yeah. She's like, oh, no, I'm busy with work.
And then she ends up getting pissed at you for that. Like, oh, why are you always at work? Why don't you spend time with me? Like,
because I need money.
yeah, like, bitch. Like, if this girl is out here with expensive ass taste, first of all,
I don't really want that kind of person.
I don't think anybody wants that kind of person. The
Unless
kind
that you can afford it and just like you don't give a shit.
yeah, like nobody wants that one woman who complains that you take her to the Cheesecake Factory.
Oh, that was a fake skit, but yeah.
I still don't care. I fucking hate.
It was annoying, the thought. It's like goddamn.
Like, I thought you said you were gonna take me out to something fancy. Like, I did. Then you took too long getting ready, so we missed the dates.
Speaking of fancy, Chili's. I still love their fries. That was amazing that day.
Honestly, I can't say Chili's is all that fancy. I still think it's like kind of subpar.
It's more of a sit-down restaurant that's slightly more fancy in terms of like the design of the room. Whereas if you might go to another restaurant, they're kind of like sad tables in a way. It's like it's a table you can sit there and eat. That's it. But like table wise, it doesn't look that great. But like the Chili's is like a subpar fancy. It's like it's not real fancy.
Yeah, no, not in the slightest.
Plus, it's not like there's an actual waiter that's just like there for you only.
I mean, can you imagine if there was?
Yeah, that'd be expensive as hell.
Yeah.
Can't afford that. I don't want to afford that.
Did you think I'm coming out to this restaurant for you? No, I'm coming here because the waiter knows me.
Hey, gives me the discount every once in a while. Throws in some fries too.
Like this motherfucker over here being the godfather to my son.
He's in my will. Let's see. Should we hit there at 2 or?
I think we should probably start wrapping this up here soon.
Because I was thinking about it just recently. Like, it's like how long would it take him to get from where he's at to the mall, and then how long would it take us to get there? I mean, I guess it's fine if we get there early.
I don't see anything wrong with that.
Yeah, I'd just be more like.
I mean,
I'm not trying to go upset or disheartened. It's more like I'd be more disappointed if we came in there later and he had to wait there by himself.
I mean, he doesn't get out until 2.
Yeah.
So if we go there now, we might still be waiting there for like maybe half an hour.
Yeah, we'll probably stop at 1:30 then. We'll see where this goes. Besides all that, there's a lot of things. Like, have you ever thought about robbing a McDonald's?
First of all, I don't consider McDonald's a place worthy of robbing.
Oh, okay. What place would be worthy?
Chick-fil-A.
You know what? You're right. If I was going to...
Chick-fil-A, KFC.
I don't know about KFC.
I mean, they got some good-ass food there.
It's good, but maybe Raising Cane's more, honestly.
Raising Cane's is kind of up there, but I feel like it's still... I think it's still a bit above McDonald's. Just a little bit.
Really? You only consider it a little bit above McDonald's?
Yes. I mean, that's much better than Burger King. I consider Burger King far down
Okay.
under McDonald's.
I think everybody agrees for some reason that Burger King is just shit. But then again, it's like, I'm not really going there. I'm not going to try to find out. I know I've ordered their 20-piece or 50-piece. I don't remember what it was, but like it was $2. I tried it and was like, I don't like this. Now I know why it costs this much, but like, who the fuck is willing to pay $2 for this?
Exactly.
It's like, I think you'd have to pay me to eat this way. But besides all that, like, so here's the thing. Imagine you go to McDonald's and you rob the place, right? You get the money. And you're not by yourself, you're with other people, right? And then you leave the store, but then you have something that's even worse than a SWAT team after you.
You have Ronald himself.
No.
You see the clown running at your car from behind. Jesus Christ, that would be terrifying.
Wrong McDonald's. In 2016, 2 dudes from France walked into a McDonald's holding a shotgun and fired at the ceiling, yelling for everyone to get onto the floor. They demanded that the cashier give them all the money or they would actually start shooting people. And when the cashier quickly handed them around 2,000 euros, the robbers then fled from the scene. But little did they know, they weren't out of the clear just yet. Turns out, inside McDonald's at the time were 11 off-duty members of the French GIGN. Now, the GIGN is one of the most experienced and respected counterterrorism units in the entire world. As one Reddit user put it, it's not like these robbers ran into an off-duty SWAT team, they ran into the team that SWAT teams call when they can't handle a situation. As such, although these soldiers chose to stay quiet while the robbers were inside the McDonald's to avoid any civilians getting injured, the moment the robbers left, they began chasing. They quickly caught one of the guys after he fell down a flight of stairs. And when they asked the other guy to put his gun down and he aimed it at them instead, Instead, they simply responded with a neutralization shot to his abdomen. Long story short, the two robbers both ended up in the hospital and then jail.
Yeah. That's just wild.
No, see, the funny thing is, for a moment, I thought it was going to be a joke saying, like, these guys thought they were going to get away, but little did they know, a McDonald's enthusiast was chasing after them.
Oh, God. That's
Like,
funnier.
Fucking, they think they're in the clear, but then they see this one really fat guy coming after them.
You stole McDonald's money for them.
I want the money for my McFlurry.
I know.
Fucking
You have enough money.
Jesus
for
Christ.
Yeah. It's like, he just steals the money, but then, like, he doesn't give it back to them. Like, he just, like,
No, he gives it back.
I want 30 McFlurries right now. Here's the money.
Yeah, I was just about to say, he doesn't give it back to them. He negotiates with them.
Oh,
If
that's
you all the money
worse.
back, how many McFlurries can this give me?
You know what? It's different, yeah. Because I was thinking, like, he's just gonna, like, oh, this is my money. I just came in to buy stuff. More McFlurries. But in this case, yours is more noble because, like, hey, I got the money back. Can I get some McFlurries for free? And it's like, you know what? Fuck it. Here. That's way different. Yeah. Nothing. Well, okay, so here's the thing. What do you think a lottery company should do if they accidentally fucked up the numbers?
What kind of issue are we talking about here?
All right.
Because when you say fuck up numbers, I'm thinking of several different things.
Okay. I actually want to know what your response is, but first of all, what do you mean? What's the first thing that came to your mind?
The first thing is shipment orders. Like maybe they fucked up a number and they over-ordered something.
The lottery?
No, what I was thinking of is like if we only needed like maybe 15 of an item, but then somebody accidentally puts an extra zero behind it. So now the shipment company sends us 150 of something.
Okay.
And we don't really need that. Like if we say like we need like 15 cartons of egg or 15 crates of egg, but then somebody accidentally puts up a zero, so it's like we need 150 crates of eggs. It's like Jesus fucking Christ. Now another thing that's running through my mind when you say fucking up the numbers is of course like we fuck up the numbers for sales, so that way it makes it seem like we actually made less than what we actually did. Because that's an actual issue with some companies. Sometimes a number will get fucked up so much that the sales will look like it's down when it's not actually down. So what do you mean?
So somebody fucks up the lottery numbers.
Okay.
Okay.
Go on.
So basically, one day this guy has a lottery ticket, and it's a winning lottery ticket on the lottery's website. However, the actual winning numbers are not those numbers, and the lottery changes those numbers within 3 hours. And then the guy goes to cash it in, but they say this is not the winning lottery ticket. These are real numbers. So instead of throwing it away like most people would, because it's like, fuck it, it's not the real one, he keeps it and then gets a lawyer so he can sue the actual lottery company to give him the $340 million he deserves. And part of me is like, you don't deserve it, but you should at least get compensated somehow.
No, because the thing about that is that it was the company's fuck up.
Yeah.
And like if they show it on the website,
it was the website.
Yeah, if they see it on the website and they are able to prove it, then obviously the guy would get compensated for that amount. So it would technically be like there were two winners. But the thing about that is that the lottery only gives out the winning prize to the actual winner because the lottery company made that money from all the people trying to buy the tickets.
Yeah, usually that's the case.
So technically, they're going to have two. Jesus Christ.
Yeah. I was trying to pause it before I did it. It took me to say it's on longer. But go on.
So I was going to say that if anything, if they didn't sell an actual winning ticket for that one, they still could have paid the guy.
Oh, that's true, they could have.
But if there was somebody who had like the winning ticket after they fixed their mistake, then that's going to be a huge downfall because that's two people that are going to be getting that much money. So they're really going to have to figure out how to make up that money.
Yeah, because like on one hand, the guy that actually has the real number, and is told he's the only one, but then suddenly later he's like, oh, there's actually a second one, but he has different numbers. It's
Yeah.
like, what the fuck do you mean he's the second one? He's sharing the same pool as me.
Yeah.
I'm the one who actually got the real one.
Yeah, somebody is definitely gonna get pissed off there, but
Yeah.
again, it's a company who fucked up, so they would have to do something about that.
Yeah. So the only reason that the company fucked up is because like apparently somebody was putting the numbers in the test page of it,
Mm-hmm.
but instead of it being the test page, to put it in the real page without realizing. So they corrected it like within 3 hours.
Okay, now here's the only thing that I want to ask on this before you do the video.
Yeah.
How bad of a fuck up was it? Like, was it just one number off? Was it the entire sequence?
You know, that's a good question. I don't know. I don't think I ever really explained. They just said like the numbers he has is the right ones to the web page,
Like,
but not the actual winning one.
because if it was just like one or two numbers off, that can be an easy mistake. Because maybe somebody just messed up in putting it in.
Yeah.
But if it was like an entire sequence of numbers, no, that is definitely going back down the company.
Be hurting right now. Recently, John Cheeks won a basically impossible odds $340 million lottery jackpot. But when he went to cash it in, he was shocked to be told that his winning ticket was no good, and that he should, get this, just throw it away and forget about it. As it turns out, some Powerball employees had accidentally put the wrong winning numbers on their official website when they were really trying to put it up on a test site. Not only that, they failed to realize this until 2 entire days later. But of course, by the time they did take these numbers down, John had seen them and was falsely led to believe that he had won, when in reality, he really had it. Now, luckily, John Cheeks had the common sense to not throw his winning ticket away and instead locked it inside a safety deposit box. It was clear to him that the lottery company had messed up big time and was now trying to sweep it under the rug. So John did exactly what anyone should do in this situation, which was to immediately hire a lawyer and sue Powerball. John is currently demanding that he still receive the full jackpot, which was basically what Powerball promised him when they put his ticket numbers up on their website as the winner, or at least that's what John's lawyer is arguing. However,
Yes.
Powerball has obviously been fighting back, and it's to be determined if John will even receive anything at all.
Yeah, because on one hand, I kind of understand. It's a fucked up, but it was a fucked up by the employees, which makes you wonder, like, why wasn't there another process? Like, hey, double check that these are the numbers on the actual page. Instead, they just relied on one employee that could update the page.
But the other thing about it is that they left it up there for 2 whole days.
That was the other thing, yeah, 2 days.
It's kind of like,
I was wondering, like, there's no way it could have been taken out in 3 hours.
yeah, at that
That's
point,
like, that doesn't make sense. But 2 days is different,
yeah, at that point, it's like, that's no longer just a mistake that you made for a test page. No, that's actually the fact that you put up the winning lottery ticket, but you're screwing this man out of the money.
Yeah.
Because they can actually use that in the courts. They can,
So too.
they can literally go to the judge and say, these numbers are up on the page for 2 whole days before anybody realizes mistake, and finally fixed it. But during that, the guy, the defendant here, is saying that he went to the actual place, the actual lottery place, was it?
I assume wherever you bought the ticket from, or probably, yeah, actually, at that point you would take it to the actual place.
Yeah. So he took it to the place, but then they tell him right as he arrives that that wasn't the winning lottery number.
Yeah.
And they show him a new page with new set of numbers.
Yeah.
Like, obviously this would be criminal negligence,
Yeah.
or something along the lines of just negligence from the company.
Yeah.
So, yeah, you can definitely fight for the full amount of the winning ticket.
I think at that point, yeah, I'd have to agree with you a bit more with that part.
Because again, it's...
Because I didn't even think about it. It's like, oh yeah, technically the money's still there, but it'd just be worse if there was 2 people.
Yeah.
Technically, yeah, we fucked up, and then it's a question of how many times is this gonna happen. But then it's like, well, fix the problem then. Don't stop letting it happen again. Yeah, at that point, it does feel like a cop out because like he didn't win by traditional means. He won by like an employee fucking up the number.
I mean, I'd still commend him for that.
Yeah.
Because that's winning against a large company.
Yeah. I mean, at that point, I kind of like, no doubt, if they're probably going to do 2 things. One, they're going to try to fix the system, and then B, they'll probably put in a clause, just like every other company does, where if you buy this thing, you basically cannot sue us for any reason involving this, and maybe they'll be generous, like in the event that we fuck up and it's not the real numbers, but they were displayed. We'll give you only this much.
I mean, if they were to put in a clause saying like, oh, maybe we'll give you like $1,000 for us fucking up with the system and everything,
Yeah.
$1,000 I can kind of see
Honestly,
being
that's a
worth.
bit more. I was about to say 100,000, but it makes more sense just to be 1,000 at best.
No, because I think 100. I think that much money was kind of bad because the
Well, I'm assuming like how often is this really gonna happen?
well, it is true. It might not happen too often,
Yeah.
but that's as far as we know.
True.
Maybe it has happened before, and some other people have
That's
thrown away the
true.
tickets.
That's true.
Because he was told to throw away the ticket and everything because it wasn't actually the winning lottery number.
Also, if you think about it, like it wouldn't be surprising if like lottery companies, like as much as they say it's like, oh, it's randomly generated, they get to decide when that randomly generated number that's actually the correct number actually shows up.
Yeah, I have no doubt they're literally the ones putting it in every time.
Yeah.
It's not actually just the computer coming up with these numbers.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, because then it's the same thing as the Pepsi challenge or Pepsi thing they had in Brazil or something, where unfortunately the company fucked up because they were only supposed to print like maybe 6 of them, but they printed out like an entire batch worth of pallets, and so people were starting to fight over it. They all thought they were rich.
I mean, I can see people fighting for winning Pepsi regardless of whether or not there was a large mistake.
I think it was like 2,000 pesos or something like that each one of them or something. I don't remember, but it was like they were all gonna be rich, but then it's like Pez just decided not to.
I mean, see, if it's $2,000, I can see somebody easily rectifying that. But we're talking about millions here.
Yeah.
So that's definitely a huge fuck up on the company. To where it seems like the company didn't actually want to give this money away.
Obviously.
So,
They only wanted to give away the money that they expected, not all this extra bullshit.
yeah. And of course, when you win the lottery, it's going to be obvious that there's going to be some tax deduct from it.
Yeah.
Because you're not going to get the full amount, you're only going to get something close to it. Because of the
It's
service.
more or
there.
less like 50% at best. More or less. Maybe 55. You get taxed the shit out of that. But then at the same time, it's like, you've never seen this amount of money in your entire life. You will never see it again. If you do, that's amazing, but it's like so fucking unlikely.
Yeah.
Especially the people that like went with it when it was a billion, remember?
I definitely remember a lot of people were. I remember I even bought a ticket.
There's that too. And part of me is like really terrified of that thought now. Like going for it. Cause like as much as like you could hide it, like you still have to like show up and personally accept it. You can wear a mask, fortunately.
Which, I mean, I never knew like where you had to go. I always figured you just went back to the store where you got the ticket from.
No, there's no way you would do that. Also, I would not fucking show back up there. At that point, I'm planning where to move. It's not gonna be in the same part of the city anymore.
I mean, you would still need the money first before you can do all that.
There's that too, but like I still wouldn't. I'm just like fuck it, credit cards, max them out, moving over there, pay it all back.
And then it turns out like you end up like that guy.
Oh yeah, there's that possibility too.
You max out your cards and everything, and then it's all like, sorry, you didn't actually get the winning number. Fucking hell. You owe me something. Do you know how much I maxed out my credit card? No. We don't care. We don't know. That's not the winning number. Go ahead and go away.
That's true.
I maxed out $200.
200. That's no, you can't even do anything with that.
But yeah, no. Winning the lottery, it does sound like a huge ass thing, especially for nerds like us. There's a lot of things we can buy. But
That's true. I mean, at that point, would I even do YouTube or anything really? Like, what would I really be doing?
I mean, at that point, I figure like doing YouTube would actually be the number one thing you can do. Because even if you're not getting paid at the beginning,
I
you
mean,
still have all this money.
you could do awesome shit, don't get me wrong, but it's like, would you even want to at that point?
I mean, I know.
It's like, why actually film it? Why film it? And then the only reason would be like to get clout.
No.
'Cause otherwise, you're just putting yourself as a target. Like, hey, look, I actually have money. And then I'm just gonna wait until somebody robs me. Apparently.
I mean, I wouldn't say like go and make like an extravagant house or something. Because I'll see if I even won the $1 billion thing, yeah, I would definitely probably get my own house and everything. But I would still be trying to do like Twitch or YouTube and all that kind of stuff because obviously it's a lot better for my hip and the condition I'm always in.
But you don't have to because you already have money.
That's true. I
You
already
don't
have
have
the
to
money.
do
I can
shit.
get
You
surgery.
can just fucking keep buying games, not even touch it, and just like, I'll get a new console.
I could buy games and just have it on display, but where's the fun in that?
Yeah.
Like the whole reason I ever thought about doing Twitch even before I met you and Makochi was because me and my ex-girlfriend Wolf, we always talked about like, oh, what if we went onto YouTube and we started doing these things and everything? It's like, yeah, it actually does sound fun because I do enjoy playing games and it's honestly always been a good time. I mean, it's just the fact that you don't play games, so I guess you don't really get too much of it.
I played one game, but even then, it's not even that. It's just like there's currently no reason for me to like show it in display. Besides the idea of getting money out of it.
Oh, I mean, money is the one thing because of course, if you kind of make it your job, they're gonna have to pay you.
Yeah.
But it's also the fact that again, you enjoy it. You want to do this kind of thing. Because I think I don't know what the movie is called, but there was a movie that they played in the break room not too long ago. And one of the guys said something along the lines of, back when he was going through school, the counselor gave them a hypothetical. It was something along the lines of, if you became a billionaire, what would you do? And whatever your answer would technically be your dream job. So, as for me, yeah, I'd still be here on Twitch, probably trying to do some YouTube videos as well. I felt, at that point, I'd have all the time in the world. I wouldn't have to work, so I could literally be making videos all I want.
Here's the thing. I think even if I did win like $1 billion, there'd be only 3 things I'd be doing. One,
Kill myself.
No. I mean, there's a possibility that ends up happening, but besides that,
I mean,
the first is just the fact that I'd probably be buying a bunch of houses in the neighborhood. And then the second thing, I'd probably still be working at HEB. Just because I feel like I need to be able to do something, otherwise I will kill myself. And then the third thing is that I will probably be making sure I select which shifts I get, and if I don't get the shift I want and I can't give it away, I'm just going to pay someone to do it for me.
I mean, you would still have to clock in yourself.
No, I just give away a shift, but like if nobody picks it up because they want it, and let's face it, as soon as I pay somebody and they know I can just keep paying, it's like they'll just wait till the last minute and then ask me like, "Hey, I'll do your shift for you. Just pay me this much." Yeah.
I'll do your shift, $100.
It's a good deal.
Oh, and don't forget your phone. The one that's up there recording.
That's right. I keep fucking forgetting something.
Yeah,
I'm still sorry about. Yeah, I mean it was all dranked up, but still, I apologize again for that.
Actually, what's funny is I think it was the next day I went into work and they had me do the baskets. I saw another cup like that on the floor right next to the sanitary wipes.
Mm.
I was thinking about taking a picture of it and be all like, "Why are you leaving your drinks everywhere?"
Hey, what I do with my drinks is only important when I leave it in your house. I'm sorry.
You know, when you say that and I see all the figures and everything I have around here, it kind of makes me think that you're using a cup instead of a jar. For very particular reasons.
I'm using a cup instead of a jar. Isn't it the other way around? I'm using a jar instead of a cup.
No, your reason you'd be using a cup instead of a jar. Because you do know what kind of allegation I'm making, right?
Did I just come into the jar?
You're
But in
putting
this
a
case-
figure into a cup.
Yeah, but why would I put it in a cup?
You can still see it, can't you? With those cups?
I mean, yeah, that time I got the QT one, so it was clear. But if it was any other one, it would have been styrofoam.
It was still a QT one. It was still a clear cup that I saw on the floor.
Yeah,
So the joke still kind of works in a way.
I guess, yeah.
Alright, well, if anything, we'll go ahead and stop the recording there.
Yeah.
And make our way to go get sweets and other stuff.
Yeah.
So until I see y'all tomorrow, which I think tomorrow I might just do something different than just stream again.
Yeah, I don't know.
I don't know, probably downstairs.
I'll take one.
Oh yeah, until tomorrow, we will see you all later.